Oh!
We live in a society where any animated movie that stars an African American cast or an African American character is a commentary on racism, even though that's not the case. While plenty of these animated movies throughout the past few years have, that doesn't mean all of them are, and Soul is one of those exceptions. Because as much as people like to act like it's racist, that's not what it's going for. It's not saying anything about racism or anything. It's all about, the questions of death and life and all that. Not anything that has to do with racism. Sorry, I just want to get that out of the way before we do anything else. No, let's just, continue to the great beyond. Honestly, it's kind of insane how Soul almost did everything right. It has a fantastic musical score, including some dope music like this. And of course, it has incredible visuals with a lot of 2D animation mixed in. And also, I like the almost hyper realism of the characters on Earth, because it's a nice contrast between the Soul world where it's all cartoony and silly and this very photorealistic like real world. I also like how it plays with a lot of concepts that most Pixar movies would not touch for a lot of reasons. Like things like death and depression, honestly. And obviously the cast is fantastic. Honestly, everything was kind of done right with this movie. So, I don't get why anybody complains. This is how good you can make a movie, man. But honestly, the only reason I really want to talk about this movie is a reason you already know. So, I'm just gonna keep going. Before we get to the thing that I really gotta talk about, I gotta play this clip.
I heard this story about a fish. He swims up to this older fish and says, "I'm trying to find this thing they call the ocean." "The ocean?" says the older fish. "That's what you're in right now." "This?" says the young fish. "This is water. What I want is the ocean." See you tomorrow.
My interpretation of this is that the young fish is Joe, and the young fish cannot find his dream because he does not understand what his dream is. That is what she is saying. That Joe can't find what his dream is. He can't feel happy until he realizes what his true dream is. And it's obviously teaching. It's obviously teaching students. The entire film is kind of alluding to that. But let's just finally get to the part I've been waiting to talk about. I don't know if you've seen the ending of Soul. I don't know if you've even watched this movie, but you should. And here's why. The ending is all about Joe. It's all about him realizing the mistakes he's made. All of the terrible ways he has affected 22's before life. And all the ways that he can fix it. Of course, the piano scene takes the cake for the best scene in the entire movie. With Joe just sitting at a piano and thinking about his past and all of the very few amazing things he's done, but he realizes that doesn't matter. He realizes that it's not about being important in life and affecting the entire world. It's about it's just helping one person to achieve greatness or to feel great. So that's why the ending is so powerful. But I think it also shows a lot about Joe when he finally decides that it's time for him to die, to let 22 live out her life on Earth. And that's when he gets his second chance. And that's when he decides he's not going to waste it. Honestly, this movie was just so fantastic, and I think that everyone should be able to enjoy it.